And we are live.
Live.
And we are live.
Sorry. All right.
There you go. Can you see us?
Yeah.
Okay. You must be the one person that's watching right now.
Yeah. There's two watching apparently. I don't know.
Okay.
No, it says one watching.
Okay. Let's put this up here. So I'm going full screen, so I can't see the chat. Okay. Well, this is the first time I've had a guest on.
I'm honored.
I always wanted it to be you, pal. I don't know how many times we've tried to wrangle this and to get it together, and just never happened. It's always something. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more live streams, hopefully, and doing a lot more stuff right here. I'm going to try and build a studio here, kind of wall this section off in here, and put up the soundproofing, so there's not all that echo going on in the background. So where how you hear me now will sound a lot better.
Yeah.
And yeah, eventually I'd like to get a hold of a system where I can, mitigate a lot of other stuff, background noise and all this other stuff. Get a deeper, richer tone out of it. Sounds.
That'll be a good idea, I said that'll be a good idea. That sounds really cool.
Well, that's something I'm trying to invest in. I'm trying to turn this into something different, instead of just, I don't know, making your random video here and there.
Yeah.
I'm going to have two sources to make video out in the field now. I'm going to still be using my phone, but I'm going to be using my camera too. So, and my first live stream with the new equipment, I used that camera. Like I said, I've got a nice tripod set up for it, a hood, a boom, shotgun mic to go with it. It's really nice. So, see that? Yeah.
4K.
Yeah. Well, this camera right here is actually shooting in 4K.
Nice.
Yeah. Not bad. Like I said, this little camera that I'm using right now, $125 in Logitech. It is a that's it right there.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I need to get is a nice webcam. Like I used to have one back when I was in the military. I think it was when I was stationed in Florida, and I wanted to, be able to, Skype and stuff. Mom and my sisters and stuff like that.
Right.
But I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, like I need to get one. Pretty easy.
It helps.
Because I kind of want to start doing the Twitch thing, like if I want to get back into gaming, I want to kind of have fun with it with that too, sometimes I think I'm not good enough to be on Twitch, so I don't know.
Just make your channel and roll with it, man. That's what I did. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I got another YouTube channel called Dark Paladin.
Oh, I haven't seen that. So you made one for your gaming?
Yeah. So Dark Paladin is going to be my gaming setup. All of
I'm
my
gonna
gaming
go
videos are going to go there.
subscribe.
Yeah. Right now I have 0 subs.
Uh, I, let's see. What the fuck? Oh, you can't cuss on YouTube.
Well, it takes away from your monetization. Right now, I'm not monetized, but it'd be nice to be monetized eventually. Some people might say, "Well, you want to get paid for this?" Well, of course I do. This doing all this, it's expensive, and I'm not going to be sitting down and begging people for money or none of that stuff. If I could get enough subscribers, get into the partner program, if I could make it work, make some money that way, make YouTube pay me. It's not going to be that much until I get, into the hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but every little bit helps,
Yeah.
So I've told you about this a long time ago, but I've been working on trying to build a spirit box, a spirit portal.
Mhm.
And I got me a mini amp. Yep, there we go.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. This little amp right here, I'll attach a couple of pedals. It's like a reverb and oh man, my brain's cramping right now. There's 2 different pedals and a spirit box, and it helps with bringing in the spirit voices. I've seen it done.
Mm.
Yeah, I watched these guys on Paranormal Portal, and they were in Wyoming, and they were out in the wilderness using this thing, and it was creepy at what they were getting. Man, it's crazy.
So is is that a TV show?
A Paranormal Portal, yeah, it's on YouTube.
Oh, okay, it's a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Subscribe to that.
Paranormal Portal's good. They go through all kinds of different stuff. They tell a lot of stories. Some people send them the stories, and they look them up. And every now and then they'll have a guest or 2 on, and they'll talk about different topics. I'll watch Paranormal Roundtable too. They've got a lot of stuff. They cover everything from soup to nuts, like they do over in a Paranormal Portal.
Yeah, like I already am subscribed to some of your Bigfoot channels that you recommended, but I just should just got those 2 subscribed too, so I'll have that on here.
The main one I'm subscribed to, there's 2. Bigfoot Odyssey. I watch that a lot. And Hidden Existence. That's a good one too.
I don't think I got that either.
The Hidden Existence is kind of like a spinoff of Bigfoot Odyssey. But yet it's its own thing. Daniela Aiello, she's the co-host of Bigfoot Odyssey. That's her channel. She does her own thing. Plus, she helps produce Bigfoot Odyssey. And right now, Carrie is in Florida on an expedition. He'll be down there for the whole week. I'm pretty sure it's full 7 days, and they're filming right now.
Nice.
Yeah. Once they got down there like Monday, I think, and they started Sunday or Monday, and they started filming the next day, and they're not going to stop till it's done. And he's calling the project 168 hours. So, and it's going to be a lot of footage to go through. It's like I think he's going to break it down into like 7 different 2-hour episodes. Something like that.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I hope they find something. I hope they get some footage where they're at.
Have you been on any other shows recently? Because I know you went on a couple of shows there, or a couple times, right?
Well, the last one I was on was Daniela's. It was Hidden Existence. That was fun, but I haven't been on anything else since. It just hadn't been in the cards for me.
I just subscribed to that too. Nice.
Yeah.
So are you trying to grow your channel like that, man?
Kinda. It's going to be a mixture of a little bit of everything.
It's going to have the whole, yeah.
Yeah. The whole gambit, man. I'm going to do stuff out in the field, be back out in the woods doing stuff. And I'm also going to try and, do what we're doing right now, have a couple of guests on, and we can talk about stuff. Right now, this is the maiden voyage, man.
Yeah.
Maiden.
Yeah, like if I'm ever out, like hiking, because I plan on doing a lot. Like I'll be sure to keep my eyes open. I honestly don't know what to look for, but maybe I'll make my own videos or something. I don't know. That seems kind of fun.
I'll tell you where you could probably take a look at. Skinwalker Ranch. That's in Utah. It's not far away from the Four Corners area, I think. You'll be a hell of a lot closer to it than me. You might be able to go down there and
that sounds familiar. I haven't looked it up in a long time. UFO related activities, paranormal.
Yep.
Its name is taken from a skinwalker of Navajo legend concerning vengeful shaman.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Where's it at? Let's see.
I'll be hollering, Yate!
Yeah, it's in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hell, I drove right by it when I was driving from Vegas.
I don't doubt that.
Let me see something.
Dude, I need a ring. I need a ring light.
Trying to see the distance. It's about 7 hours. It's a little less than 7 hours from Vegas. I have a
Wow.
pretty good. It's just a little day trip.
Yeah. It's a hot spot, though, man. It's a hot spot. Not far away from Area 51 either.
I think Lucy's got a video of a UFO she saw.
Wow.
Yeah, like I'll have her send a video to you. She was at a dog park and she saw these lights. Um, and she started taking a video of it, and everybody else saw it too. They were like, "What the hell is that?" But it was doing some weird shit too. Like it was really strange. But yeah, Nevada's a hot spot for that kind of shit.
Rick,
Kind of
A.K.
interesting.
Purple I got a question there for you. Rick, A.K. Purple Hobbit asks, any of those seen near Skinwalker Ranch?
Wait, what?
Any of those seen near Skinwalker Ranch?
Oh,
That's
I
what
have
he's
no
asking.
idea. I have no idea. Lucy saw it in Las Vegas, which is this is my girlfriend. We're going to be moving there here within the next couple months, so there's probably more chance of a UFO sighting if I were to ever see one, if it's in in the western area like that.
Like I said, man, Area 51.
Yeah.
Spinnaker Ranch series on Hulu. Anyone seen it? No, I haven't. I should probably check it out.
There's a Hulu
Um,
series about it.
oh yeah, yeah. I think I've got it in my save list. I've got one on Amazon Prime that I'm looking at. Rick also asked about Goat Man. I don't, I've had a couple people tell me that they've seen a Goat Man before. One of my old buddies from high school said that his cousin, and this was in Christiansburg, um, um, down in Cambria, actually, off of Montgomery Street in Cambria, out behind the old depot. And he said they were his cousin, a couple other boys were out playing one night, and they got so far down the street, and then they were headed back. I think they went to a store or something, and they were headed back home to his cousin's house. And the next street light down from them, they said if I remember right, he said he saw they all saw it. A guy looked half man, half goat step out into the street light, and it chased them street light to street light all the way home. But Cambria's, man, it's oh, my full question was, has anybody seen a goat man near Skinwalker Ranch? That I don't know. That I don't know. But yeah, and the second one, my former father-in-law. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know. You remember me telling you that story? Dude, if
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
So it's a little story and a half. It's like an attic space, the old house. This was in Franklin County. And he said him and his wife my former mother-in-law, were upstairs in that attic spot, and she was next to the wall. And you got to understand, when I say next to the wall, it was like a quarter wall, and the ceiling was up here like this. So if she sat up, she'd hit her head on the ceiling because it was coming up like this. So it would A-root. The A-frame was right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the bed was tucked right in there. And she was on the inside, he was on the outside. And they were right there where the steps were coming up. And he said he saw this thing coming up the stairs. It walked in the house. It was in the house. And it was standing there. He woke up and he saw it. He said, "Oh Lord, take her, don't take me. Take her, don't take me." But he said he watched it, turned around, walked down the stairs. He got up and he followed it. It went outside and went down the driveway, went across the creek, down to that old house they used to use as a barn. There's a lot of stories up in that holler of craziness.
This was in Franklin County, right?
Yeah. My former mother-in-law used to tell me a story about the witch's fork. It was almost like a tuning fork, but it was like a three-pronged fork, but it was cursed. Whoever had it, something bad happened to them.
Mm.
I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. Scary stuff, man. I've never seen a goat man myself. I ain't never seen no dog man. Hell, I ain't even seen Bigfoot. But I know they're real.
Yeah, I haven't had any paranormal experience or any cryptid experience or UFO experience. Like, I'm just an interested skeptic. I don't really.
That healthy bit of skepticism goes a long way.
That house you used to live on over there on Gazebo Drive, have you ever talked about that on your channel at all? Like,
No, yeah. I've recounted that story a couple of times, actually. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah, let's see.
what?
Ghost, UFOs, and Bigfoot. Oh my. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Rick. Now I've seen a ghost. I've seen a ghost of a girl standing at the foot of the couch in my living room. I fell asleep on the couch and woke up, and there she was standing at the foot of the couch. She was in like a light colored white and pink Victorian dress. I remember a big bow in her hair. She's kind of blonde, pale skin, blue eyes. I mean, it was like she was really standing there, man. But she looked so sad, and she just turned, looked at me, ducked her head down, and she was gone. What? Yeah.
That was in the living room, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right there by the front door.
Yeah, like I used to, sleep in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was crazy.
But after the house burned up, we never had any more problems. At least I didn't.
Yeah.
I to this day, honestly, man, I to this day still believe whatever was in that house, whatever was going on there, was after my ex-wife and my former stepson.
Well, what's interesting is is that the house did catch on fire. Like how did that happen? Was that something? Because Eric ended up looking up like the history on that spot, and there's been a couple buildings that was in that same spot that that went up in flames. So I wonder if it had anything to do with like 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 a paranormal like a involvement with that.
I would say so. For the simple fact that house that we moved into was the same square footage as the house we moved out of in Ferrum.
Mm-hmm.
Same size, same square footage. And the stove that was in that house was the same size stove. And let me tell you, if I put the right amount of wood in there, the whole house was heated. I remember when we got rid of that gas heat in that house in Ferrum we moved out of. When we did that and got the wood stove put in, and we didn't want for heat after that. It'd be cold outside. Man, you'd be walking around in your underwear inside. Not a problem. Not a problem. But in this house we moved into in Shaw's Vegas, up in Allegheny there, you couldn't get it warm. You couldn't get it warm. And I'm telling you what, there's a couple of times when I had to back it down because the daggone size of the stove was getting cherry red.
Mm-hmm.
And before you buy a house, it goes through all kinds of inspections, especially one that has a wood stove. And the flue was inspected, the stove, all that right around in there was inspected. And the fire marshal, after the house had burned up, I was down there with him. And he said that it was a crack in the flue pipe, in the liner, and in the block that heated a stud in the wall. That's what he said it looked like to him.
What the hell?
Yeah. Now, my ex-wife was sleeping in the living room on that couch that night. And that flame started going up. It was in the ceiling first. And it was going toward her first. Stepson happened to be, and I'm not using names because I really don't have, permission to use their names. But my stepson happened to be smoking a little weed and got a little of the munchies and got up, and he had not been for that, I don't know. I reckon weed saved him.
Yeah, I guess so.
If he hadn't gotten up, it wouldn't have happened.
So what's the possibility it might have been like a paranormal involvement that like they were trying to harm them?
I don't know. Those two stayed into it all the time, and there was a negative energy in that house. It was so thick you could cut it with a knife. All the time, man. I told you about the time a damn whole pot of coffee went missing.
No, I don't do that.
Her mom and dad had come over to visit, right? And they were sitting outside. And my ex-wife come in and fixed a pot of coffee. She went back outside, waiting for the coffee to get done. She said she come in. She said, "Lee, where's the coffee?" I said, "What are you talking about?" "I just put coffee in here. It's gone." A whole pot of coffee. A whole pot of coffee gone. Dude, it's like, what in the world?
That's crazy.
Hey, look here. Hey, Brianna. How you doing, honey? That house fire situation always felt so weird to me, even as a kid, like ominous and suspicious somehow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, really weird. I have the kid that used to live there before you guys. Like I
Mm-hmm.
actually knew him because he was friends with another guy that I was friends with there. His name's Jack, and I actually have him on Facebook. I actually might message him and see if he like seen anything when he was living there when he was a kid. Like like if his family um had any type of experiences or anything like that.
Well, I I know they moved to Glenver, but honestly, they left so much stuff behind. It was
Yeah, it's like
almost
they
like
left in a rush.
they left in a real rush. And the neighbor over the hill, she talked like she liked to gossip, a little bit,
Yeah,
but she also
yeah, I
talked
know
to,
you're right.
she, yeah, but she also talked like there was something else going on there. They were kind of scared. They talked about it, but they were really. Oh, here's a good one. Do you think it's possible someone was like murdered, buried there, and their remains burned up with a fire? That would explain why the experience stopped. It's possible.
Or like you had mentioned that like spirits like to cling on to the wood, like their
Mhm.
energies.
Yeah,
So like if that all burned up, like the frame was still up though, wasn't it? Like like it was still standing.
yeah. The only thing that was actually rebuilt was the roof. The roof was the total loss and parts of the outer structure, but the stick frame itself was still solid, still there.
Which is interesting that like you never seen anything after that. Like you lived there several years after that.
Four
So
years.
yeah,
Was there 4 years. And after that, nothing. Nothing. And I didn't have a problem sleeping there. I come home at night, sit down, do my
yeah. Like
thing,
I
and
stayed the night many times. We were playing WoW and shit, and yeah, like I never seen anything, anything out of
no.
the ordinary.
And I'll be honest with you, there was quite a few times when the house was a safe haven for a lot of people after that.
Yeah,
Even my ex-wife come back there and lived with me for a little while when she was
really?
in between places. You don't remember that?
Well, no, I don't remember that.
I moved her hind end 3 times. And after
All
that,
right.
I said, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
um, yeah. Didn't you see a bunch of orbs and the after photos of the damage? Yeah, but that's actually before I understood what orbs were. And I've done a lot of research in it and
Dust Devil.
dust particles, man. Dust particles. A lot of people see these round orbs in in pictures and it's like, those are ghosts. No. No, just dust. Now, when there's there's certain orbs that are almost self-illuminating, and after that, after a certain point, you're like, yeah, well, but yeah. So Yeah,
Yeah,
good
like I'm
time.
gonna try to message this guy. I think, like it'll be random. It'll be really, really strange. Like I'll just tell him, hey, this is super random, but like I
Right.
might message him and ask him. It'd be kind of interesting to put a little, something, something behind that. You know what I mean?
Right. It's something I always kind of, I don't know. It didn't bother me. It's something I just kind of did kind of want to know about.
Yeah.
It's like, what did happen? What actually did happen? I know when all the activity first started, I was focused on it too. Because I remember coming home after work. Um, the ex-wife had left, gone home, or gone. Might as well have been home. Went to work. The kids went off to school, and I was there by myself. And I turned on the water, getting ready for bed. I was just washing my face, and I guess it's that white noise of the water hitting the bowl of the sink.
Mm,
And I could hear it was like a lot of talking in the next room. It's like, what the hell was that? I thought somebody turned on the TV because it was one of those old tube TVs that had the timer in it, where you could turn it off turn it off when you went to bed, or it could wake itself up as an alarm. I thought that had been done, so I thought I was listening to the TV. But I turned the water off and walked out. Nothing. It got quiet, and it happened twice after that. I'm like, what in the world? What's going on here? And with the knocking on the door, and I'm sure you remember how the front door, and if you walk through the front door and walked into the living room, you could see straight through the kitchen to the back door.
yeah.
That sliding patio glass door. You remember
Mm,
that one? There
yep.
would be a knock. There would be a knock at that front door. And I'd get up and look, and there was nothing there, and hear the banging on the sliding glass door behind me. It's like, what the hell? No, nothing there. Nothing there. So,
You know what would have been cool
hmm,
as if we would have went over there to that spot that me and Lucy did the pictures over there. Uh, I actually forgot what it was called. Like it was somewhere in West Virginia,
right.
but
Yeah.
but they were doing stuff over there. Um, it is a super haunted place apparently. Like a lot of paranormal researchers have been there and stuff like that, and they were doing one then because it was like a blue moon on uh uh October 31st. So like
Hmm.
it was like the
Yeah.
perfect. And yeah, like we should have went to that, man. That would have been really cool. I think I might have been able to experience something there.
That's possible. I still like to go back up Boner's Run.
Yeah, I haven't ever really been up there. Like I think Danny tried to take me up that way, but like I've never been to the rock formation or the Indian burial ground or anything like that.
Right. He got in touch with me and said that he was going to tell me about his sighting and all like that. And after that, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
I tried to message him. So, if you want to tell your story, that's cool. I'd love to know. Because as a crow flies, man, you look it up on Google Earth. As a crow flies, it might be maybe 3.5, 4 miles from where you used to live. You know,
Yeah, like if he wants to, tell you his story, and you could tell the story. Like he doesn't have to get on here,
right? It's like
if that's what he's worried about.
it's like my brother from another mother. You know who I'm talking about. Um, he told me his story and wrote it down, emailed it to me, and bless his heart, I had to go through and edit a lot of it. So it's a lot of run-on sentences, punctuation wasn't all that great. So I had to go through and edit it, but I read it. You know, it's the man out of time. It's his story. It's a true story. It's what happened to him.
Is that video you posted like a year ago?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me see if I can find it. Because I can't remember. That's that one. Like he he was like riding in the backseat of the car or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's strange. Message me with who that was, because I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Can you still see me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh, okay, yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He and I were also together when and it's cliche as shit, man. It's cliche as shit. And sorry for the cussing, but you know, I'm just gonna let it all hang out. Me, him, and a mutual friend of ours, and it was we used to get together every Halloween. It was like an annual thing. We did it for several years, and it all depends on who was hosting what. We'd get together and just do something. And I think we're probably about 15, 16 years old, and we were at Jay's house. I'm gonna call him that, and we're at his house, and he said, "Look, man, there's this. I was back in the woods, and I found this old cemetery. It only had like 3 or 4 headstones in it. It's really cool. You want to go out and see it?" It's like, it's Halloween. Let's go to a graveyard. Woohoo! Let's go to a graveyard, man. So, so no, and we were armed. We're carrying. One of us had a machete. One of us I had a hammer, and I think D-Man had a screwdriver or something. I don't know, but anywho, security blanket is all it was. Well, he had 2 dogs, and they went with us. It was a nice little hike through the woods in the dark. But once we got up there was a clearing. It just kind of like opened up, and there was a road. It was an old road that had grown over. There was no gravel, no dirt or nothing. It was just grass, but you could tell it used to be a road, right? Mm-hmm. We got up there, and we were walking out, and and I remember we got to where we were supposed to turn off to go to the cemetery. And he said, there's a cabin out away from us, right? And you could see the roof. Now, that night, it was a full moon. Full moon, right? So we didn't leave. Once we got out in the open, we didn't need the light so much. So we got out there, and I remember we took a right off of that road because there was a stand of cedars set up on either side. So we were walking down this row of cedars, and it opened up, and there was like 3 or 4 little graves right there. And I'm telling you, it was the the calmest, most peaceful. And Jay said, won't we leave our weapons here? Just out of respect. I'm like, well, okay, sure. And we put our weapons down, and we walked into the graveyard and took a look, and these headstones were old. I'm talking old. And boy, you'd have to rub really hard with charcoal to get an impression off of one of these headstones. So we paid our respects, and we stepped out the cemetery. We picked up our weapons, walked out, and we got out in the road because his dogs had went off away from us, right? And when we got out and we started going back down toward the house, the old cabin that was out there, and here they come. I mean, they were hauling ass back toward us. Both of the dogs acted like we weren't even there. They ignored the three of us and just hightailed it back toward the house. And we was like, well, that's odd. And we started making our way back to that that cabin. We got out in the open, and it was about a year or so ago. Me and Jay were talking about this, and he brought it up before I did. The house was glowing green. It had this green glow around it. It was this pale green glow. Now, people would say, oh, it was just the moonlight. No, it wasn't the moonlight. No, and I'll tell you why in a minute. We looked at that place. He and I looked at each other, and I called D-Man, the other guy that was with us. He was oblivious. He was like a knot on a freaking log. He was about as spiritual as a cup of water. Well, and no, I say a cup of water's got more spirit to it. I don't know about a Ritz cracker. So we looked at each other. Me and Jay looked at each other. Oh shit, man, let's go. Let's get out of here. And D's like, "What, man? Why don't we go around and look around?" I said, "We're like, no, we're out. Out. Come on, let's go." So we kind of high stepped it back to the house. We got to his house, and we were telling his sister about it. And she was like, "Oh, bullshit. No, it didn't." It's okay. Okay. Well, let's go. Let's go back up there. We went back up there. There was four of us this time. Me, Jay, D-Man, and Jay's sister. Okay. Well, we got up there. That pale moonlight was shining off that tin roof of that cabin, and it was pure white. Just a soft white glow.
Damn.
Yeah. I don't know where the green light was coming from because wasn't nobody around there. We had the cojones at that point to just go on up there and take a look. Had nobody been there.
Was the cabin up inside, like woods, or
Yeah.
was it out?
Yeah. You'd have no. It was. Well, see, there was a clearing, but there was trees all around the cabin, and there was a little bit of moonlight coming in off the side and glinting off the tin roof. It had a tin roof, and you could see the moonlight glinting off the roof, but the whole house wasn't glowing white or glowing green. Don't know. To this day, we don't know what the hell it is. I've thought about it a lot. I've had UFO encounters paranormal encounters of different kinds, like spiritual encounters, encounters with cryptids. Why is it always that it happens to me? Why does it happen to some people and it doesn't happen to others? I've thought about that a lot, and I'll be honest with you, man. I think at some certain point, if you have one encounter, it's almost like you're marked, and the veil is there's a tear in the veil somewhere, and you're able to see it. You're able to
Yeah.
see past this physical reality into the next, to see what or have some type of other experience. And I believe some of the creatures and some of the spirits are able to see that. They recognize it, and you'll be able you people who are marked they will have more than one experience. I guarantee you. You talk to one person, you talk to a person who's had one experience, they've had probably two, maybe even three, or more than that. I believe that once you get marked, you're in it. You're in that world, whether you want to be there or not. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, like that's definitely possible. Wonder what it would take for somebody who's never had an experience that wants one to actually get one.
I think probably you could will it into being. Rick says possible or one of God's gifts. I believe that too. That's another angle you can look at it. I believe some people are gifted from birth, man, to be able to see these things and interpret them.
Well, like like you would think that if you were interested in it, like you're already opening your mind to it, like it would be easier for you to have experiences. But maybe not. Maybe it works differently than that. I don't know.
I can't remember the phenomena. Okay. Rick asks, will what into being? It's a Tibetan practice of it's a psychokinesis. It's almost like you think about something and put so much effort and thought and will behind it, you can actually make something manifest. And there's some people who believe that that's how some spirits are brought into this world. That some people are actually believe along the lines that that's how Sasquatch gets here. That they will them into being. I don't necessarily believe that, but I do believe that there's a possibility that it could happen in some certain circumstances, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, like I definitely want to put myself out there. Like, like I definitely want to know that something is real instead of hoping something is real. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I can't remember the name of the term right off the top of my head. It starts with a T. Oh man. I've researched the crap out of this stuff. But Rick also says, you mean if enough people, right? Yes, there's that. There's that. Okay, take this cryptid called the rake, for instance. There's a lot of talk about the rake or the flannel man or the hat man, and a lot of these started out. Well, people believe they started out as creepypasta stories, but enough people put enough thought and will behind it that they actually brought these things into existence. Like the flannel man became real, and people have had multiple sightings and experiences with the flannel man. Um, you want to know more about that? Check out Strange Familiars. Timothy Renner, great guy. Timothy Renner is awesome. Like I said, it's a podcast. His podcast, Strange Familiars. You'll be able to catch some of his stuff on YouTube too. But Strange Familiars is really good. If you want to hear anything about Hat Man, Flannel Man, Bunny Man, I kid you not.
Bunny Man.
Bunny Man. Yeah.
Bunny Man.
It's weird. Once you start down this rabbit hole, man, it starts spiraling and you see all kinds of craziness and you hear all kinds of craziness. And it opens your mind up to different things. I never thought in a million years that researching Sasquatch would make me question religion, make me rethink things, and a roundabout bring me a little closer to God.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, Rick, I honestly believe that's true. Here's something if you want. Here's some things I heard. If you want to see a Sasquatch, you need to have a calm spirit. They can pick up on stress and things. I totally agree with that. Huh?
I said I'm fucked then. I'll never see one.
What I think it is like most primal creatures can, like your dog. Your dog knows when you're mad. It doesn't have to see it; it feels it. It's like, have you ever been in a grocery store or a restaurant and you feel that feeling like somebody's looking, you turn and look in that direction, you see somebody staring at you? Have you ever had that happen to you?
Yeah.
It's a will of intent. It's an innate ability that all of us have. It's a sixth sense. It's a latent ability each and every one of us have. Our instinct, our survival instinct to pick up on that stuff. I really believe it. Well, we're creeping up on our hour mark. 58 minutes. You made it, man. It's been a good talk.
Yeah, man. Glad to be on. Hopefully next time I'm on, I'll have a little bit more to offer.
Yeah. No, I think you did fine. On a note, on a
I
side
have
note
all the
here.
questions with no answers.
Well, we're all in the same boat, man. We're all looking for answers. And I'll tell you what, when I got to looking up the whole Sasquatch thing, the more I thought I found out I knew, the more I found out I didn't know crap. A lot of everything we know is theory. It's theory. Well, I know one thing for a fact, though. They can creep around in your head. I had that happen to me. That night I went camping by myself. You were supposed to come out with me that night, but you weren't able to. You'd worked hard that day. You stuck in traffic. I remember that traffic was like 5 miles long getting back to your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, hell, I'll just stay out here by myself. when that sun went down and that forest came alive, now, man, I'm telling you, I've camped alone a bunch of times. And I'm here to tell you, nothing like it's ever happened to me. I've never been that scared by myself. The projections, the thoughts that were put in my head were like pictures. Like I heard the whippoorwill. And I'm telling you, I've heard whippoorwill since I was a kid. And never, ever have I ever heard a whippoorwill that loud. It's like it weighed about 500 pounds and it was right over my head. And all of a sudden, I got the picture of it in my head. And it was saying, "Get out." Tulpa. That's right. I'm sorry. Rick come up with it. That's the name. That's what I was thinking of. Tulpa. Tulpa. That's the term of being able to will something into being. Rick says, I have a humdinger of a ghost experience to share. I'll tell you what. Email it to me. Email it to me at flmcnew@gmail.com. I'll put in the description. Let's see. Let's go here. All right. Well, it's not letting me do it for some reason. Anyway, after everything's said and done, I'll change it up. But yeah. Anyway, getting back to it, there was a picture in my head and was telling me to leave. Telling me to leave. Now I listened to another show that you might be interested in. It's called Into the Fray. And Kerry Arnold was on there the other night, and he recounted his story of his first encounter with a Sasquatch. And he talked about the sound it made. And I heard that exact sound. And it started out, it was like a build up to a whoop scream. It was like, wah! But it was louder, broader. And I guarantee, and I'm pretty sure I told you about this, but it's after I heard the owl and then I heard the wah! Dude. It's like, what in the world is that? And then that's when the whippoorwills come out. And then I got the vision of one in my head. And it was sitting there, leave. Get out now. We don't want you here. And that's exactly what it said. We don't want you here. And it wasn't in words that I can't explain it.
Yeah, like it was a thought that was put in your head.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It wasn't discernible as actual words. You couldn't see it as in letters or hear it as somebody talking to you. It was that thought, and it manifested as that exact translation. Get out. We don't want you here. I left my tent. I left my gun. No, I picked up my gun, but I left my tent and everything else there, got in my Jeep, and hauled freight. I said, okay, sure. I took someone's advice and made sure I went out during the new moon when it was the darkest. when there would be the most activity. That was my dumbass mistake.
It's probably pitch black out there.
Well, it was. It was like I had a big fire going, and it was like the darkness was swallowing up the light from that fire. Dude, it was blacker than black up in that holler. And I guarantee you, I promise you this, I promise you, I was the only living soul, human soul, in that holler. The only one.
Yeah.
Because after I left out the way I came, and you can loop out, and I took a long drive because I was shook up. I mean, I was more messed up than a shook up box of worms, man. I was like, well, what the hell just happened? You can take a ride down 460 headed toward Giles. And there's on the left is what they call the Forest Road, Forest Service Road. I turned down there. I said, I'm going back and I'm going to take a look. I took my time going down there. And you've been up there. You've seen what it's like. You haven't been all the way out, but it's about the same from one end to the other. It's about 7 miles from one end to the other, right? Give or take. And there wasn't a single solitary soul up in there camping but me. Nobody. So I'll be honest with you. That shook me up. And that's changed my way of thinking about being out there in the woods. Now, my head was on a swivel before, but it sure as hell is now.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, like that's kind of like, like scary knowing that you could be like, like so, vulnerable to that. Like, like they didn't have to, tell you to get out.
Yeah.
Like maybe they won't, I don't know.
Right.
That's weird.
I was listening to somebody and they made a lot of sense. And I've been thinking a lot about this too. I don't think I don't think they're inherently evil. I believe there are another people like we are. How long they've been on this planet, I don't know. Maybe as long, if not longer than we have. They have their own language. They have their own social structure, a hierarchy, a family unit. They're intelligent. And like people, you've got your good ones and you've got your bad ones. I do believe that they live for peace, if at all possible. But if something happens and you're in their way, they're going to push you right on out. I believe that. But it's like these days, and this is the only time I'll ever bring this up. It's how everything is stemmed to racism today. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're racist of this and racist of that. And let me tell you something. Assholes come in different shades. And I've been around every color of them. Black, white, red, yellow, it doesn't matter. You're either a good person or you're not. And it doesn't matter the shade of your skin. Now, that's how I feel about the old Sasquatch, the forest folk. I feel like they're good people and they're bad people. They're ones that want to be left alone, and they're the ones that want to mess with you. You read David Paulides' Missing 411. And when he talks about all these missing people, do I believe Sasquatch had something to do with it? You darn right I do. But I also believe there's other things out there in this world that caused it.
Mm.
No, dude, it's just you take, for instance, a couple of years ago, that little boy that went missing in North Carolina. He was missing for like 3 days.
Yeah.
He's like 5 years old.
Yeah. He had like, like spent like 3 or 4 days in the woods or something like that, right?
Yeah, and 20-degree temperatures.
Yeah.
He should have died of exposure, but he said a bear. He said a bear helped him, kept him warm.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Send me that link or an article to that because I want to read up more on that. But I actually have to go. Lucy's leaving, and I have to tend to the baby.
All right, man. Yeah. I went over
Have fun, man.
Me too. Me too. And thank everybody for coming by, stopping by, and saying hi. Rick, I can always count on you, brother. And I'm going to leave a link to my email address. If you want to shoot me an email, tell me your story, or give me an email. Let's trade contact information. We'll get on. Maybe you can come on the show. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is Cryptids, Myths, and Mysteries. We'll be signing off. Y'all have a good night. Until next time, love you, man.